deal with YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa Marie. I post lifestyle, finance, and nursing videos. Mostly right now I'm posting a lot of nursing videos because I just started my journey at Chamberlain University. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my career and my journey through my academics and going into nursing school now. Those people who are closest to me, who know me the best, know that I wanted to be a doctor. I was trying to go into medicine. And so I get this question all the time, like, why did I switch to nursing? Why am I going to nursing school now? What happened? So I said, let me just make a video and explain exactly how my transition went. So a little background about me and my aspirations. Ever since I was very, very young, 8, 9, 10, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. I was very, very passionate about this too. And because I excelled at science and math in school, I was just like, you know what? I got the secret sauce. I got the secret sauce to be a physician, and this is how it's going to be. By age 12, I found out that I actually wanted to be an OBGYN. I don't know what it was about that time period. I was just very fascinated by the woman's body and the changes that it goes through. But I was super into reproductive health and women's rights when I was 12. At the same time, that was the year that I was watching a whole lot of Grey's Anatomy, and my favorite character, who is Addison Montgomery, she was an OBGYN, and she had gotten a spin-off show called Private Practice. And so with that goal in mind, basically everything I did was gearing up to go to med school. I had really good grades in high school, went to college, had okay, good average grades in college, but I was sure to do a lot of volunteering, a lot of shadowing, like a lot. I might actually insert some pictures or clips here. I did like the Ronald McDonald House. I went abroad a few times, shadowed basically pretty much every specialty that I could. Even like some less thought of specialties such as OT and PT, I shadowed everything. I was just trying to get my hand into all the pots that I could, just to make sure that I was making the career choice that was the best for me. Plus I just really liked volunteering, and if I had an opportunity, I was doing it. When I went to Honduras for the first time, I actually went on a brigade trip with Global Medical Brigades at my school, which was a club that I was a part of. And on that trip, it really solidified for me that I most definitely had to be in direct patient care, because when I was volunteering there, I was working alongside dentists, primary care physicians, and an OBGYN from Honduras. It was something about the connection that I felt when I could communicate with these patients and allow them to pretty much explain what it is that was going on with them, and just let them know that they're heard. I hear what's wrong, and I'm going to try my best to help them. And when I was able to actually help them, especially when I was in the vision center, oh my gosh, like, there was one particular older lady who expressed how sad that she was that her vision was going out because she could no longer read her Bible. And when we were able to find a pair of glasses that suited her and helped her to see, and she started reading the Bible again, she was leaping for joy, like legitimately so excited. Shout out to Jenny for starting the vision part of Global Medical Brigades, because before Jenny there was no vision clinic, and she's now in optometry school. So ophthalmology school, optometry school. She's going to be a doctor of eyes. I'm very proud of her because she did her thing and she worked very hard throughout undergrad. But that connection that I felt during those volunteer trips is something that I crave. I actively crave it, like to this day.
To this day! To this day!
Anyway, so as I went through university, I took the necessary classes that I had to take for med school. So these included Gen Chem 1 and 2, OChem 1 and 2, which I loved. I loved OChem. Biochem, Bio 1 and 2, Physics 1 and 2, Calculus, all those classes I took. I did really well in most of the courses, but some of them I just did not do that great. I just scored average. For example, physics, I did not do very well in. Bio 2, for some reason, I did not do well in. I mean, I don't like biology in general. I'm a chemistry person. I like to be able to figure things out. And I feel like biological sciences are a lot of memorization. It's just a bunch of facts that you just have to know. You just have to know Darwin's law. You just have to know these things. Whereas in chemistry, I don't have to know anything. You put something in front of me and I can figure out a reaction, or I can figure, if I know the principles, then I can figure anything out. So that's why I really love chemistry. Towards the end of my college career, I was studying for the MCAT, and I ended up taking the MCAT, and I scored average on the MCAT. I forgot what my exact score was at this moment. I think it was 505 or 508 or something like that. It was a low 500s. And with that score, with my grades, I was just thinking, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna have a struggle with getting into med school. So I had taken a pause to think, okay, well, maybe I need to do a post-bac to bolster my application so that I can make it into the med school of my dreams. In my senior year of college, I actually got really sick again. I go through these periods of getting sick and feeling better because I have a chronic condition called lupus, which I can do a video about if you guys are curious, but you can do a quick Google search. There's a lot of information on the internet about it. But I was so sick that I might have had to push back graduation, and I guess just having to deal with the situation of me being sick and having to have surgery and all that stuff kind of put it into perspective that life is really short. And I couldn't imagine in that moment dedicating 8 at the minimum to upwards of 12, 13, 14 years of my life in school. And it was kind of hitting me hard because I knew that I wanted to do patient care. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. If I make it through this illness right now, I'm going to see the world. I'm not going to be stuck under someone's textbook for the rest of my 20s. So while I was trying to figure out exactly what it is I wanted to do professionally, I started working as a registered behavior technician. Working as an RBT was really good for me. I was able to sort of provide direct patient care with little kiddos. My babies were usually between the ages of 2 and I think my oldest was 8. Working with kids who are on the autism spectrum or have other behavioral health issues was really awesome for me. I really enjoyed that job. Enjoyed, like it's past tense. I really enjoy that job because I still do it now. Not as much, not on the full-time level, but I still do it here and there. For some reason, I just never had an interest in being a PA, being a physician's assistant. I don't know if it's the word assistant in there that throws me off, and it's really for no good reason. So please don't come at me in my comments if you're a PA, because I've had really good PAs in the past. I just couldn't do it. Being a nurse was not on my radar. I did not want to be a nurse, and I was very sure about that. My mom is actually in the healthcare industry, and she was a CNA for many years, and she worked in hospitals and stuff. She would tell me from high school days, like, you know, you might want to look into becoming a nurse. I think you would really like it. And I would just look at her like, lady. And it's really funny because they say mama knows best, and my mom genuinely does a lot of the time. But that year, 2018, I was doing a lot of soul searching and trying to figure out what I needed for myself to grow, to feel fulfilled. And I started to recognize the way that this society is set up in terms of people really work to live and live to work. And that's just a repeat cycle, mostly because the wages are not livable. So when you have a family and stuff, you just gotta work all the hours that you can to be able to provide for your family. And I'm just like, I don't want to be that person. It just really touched me in a crazy way. So I, at that point, decided, okay, I'm not going to med school. It's not happening because I'm not throwing away my 20s. I'm 23. These next 7 years will be fun for me because God knows how long I have to be here in the health that I'm in right now, which is not the best, but it's not the worst. You know, I'm living, I'm breathing. I can do a lot. I can bubble and whine, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. But when I have my bad days, it's like, I just can't fathom wasting any time not enjoying every day of my life. That's when I started to realize the importance of work-life balance. It never really occurred to me before, but I guess the more you become an adult is the more that kind of stuff matters to you. So when I was looking up careers that have the best work-life balance, don't you know nursing came up 25 times? And at that moment, I was hearing my mom's words in my head about becoming a nurse. Then in my research, I found out that I could become an NP. Now, nowhere in my life did it ever occur to me that I could be a nurse practitioner or what exactly a nurse practitioner was. It just seriously never occurred to me. So once I realized, oh my gosh, I could further my education through nursing to become a nurse practitioner, and better yet, I could do it in my same field of women's health or become a nurse midwife, it was game over from there. It was all done. I knew then, okay, I'm going to be a nurse. And this was in the beginning of 2018, so this is all very, very recent. So as I'm looking through what it means to be a nurse and if nursing was a good career for you, literally check mark after check mark after check mark, all of the things that I required for myself were on the list of what it means to be a nurse and how it will affect your life and stuff like that. And so I felt salty that I wasted all that time basically denying what was meant for me and denying what would make a fulfilling career for me. But better late than never. I'm here now, and I'm very, very, very happy that I have fallen into this career. So some of the things that were really appealing to me about becoming a nurse were the fact that the work-life balance is pretty good. And I understand that some nurses have poor work-life balances and some doctors have better work-life balances. I had saw this post on Quora. I'm gonna actually try and put it here. But the lady was a doctor and she was expressing how her schedule is literally all day, every day. Like she doesn't get a break. And I didn't like that. I did not like that. That made me feel a little bit claustrophobic. And so with nursing, having 312s be a full-time schedule is really appealing to me. And having the option of doing overtime, if I wanted to work 5 days, then boom, now I'm 2 days into overtime. Like that's wonderful to me. And it's really crazy how you change as you grow up, because I would say I can't wait to become a doctor because my patients are gonna be my kids. I'm never gonna have real life kids because my life, I'm gonna be married to my job. I'm gonna be married to medicine. I would say stupid stuff like that. At that time, I didn't imagine ever having kids. I did not want kids. But then when you meet somebody who you want for breed, then it's different, because now I'm in a position where I can see myself as a mother and I can't wait for. Sorry guys, my memory card apparently only lets me record a certain amount at a time, so. But anyway, I was just saying that when I was growing up, I didn't want kids, but once you get older and you encounter people that make you change your mind, like my boyfriend now, I'm ready. That being said, work-life balance is all the more important because I don't want to be in a situation where my kid is having a dance recital and I can't go. I want to be able to leave work at work, go home, and enjoy myself as much as possible. And that's definitely more likely in the nursing profession, in my opinion. Something else that my mentors would tell me all the time when I shadowed them, and all of my mentors were doctors, is that they have way too much insurance paperwork. I never thought about this, and I'm still not really thinking about it. And I'm not sure if it's the same when you're an NP, but the insurance paperwork takes up a lot of the time that they have to spend extra at the office, or they have to do it at home. I guess it's just a bureaucratic thing. I don't really know, but that's something that really turned me off because I don't got time for paperwork. I want to take care of my patients and move on. I know in nursing you have to do a lot of charting, but very effective ways that you can chart while you're going through your shifts so that you're not at the end trying to catch up. But even still, I don't feel like it measures up to the insurance paperwork that doctors have to do. The next positive, which is probably the most obvious point, is that nurses have a ridiculous amount of more interaction with their patients than doctors do. I can't even tell you how many times throughout my own personal hospitalizations I've seen a doctor come pop their head in for literally 2 seconds and then leave just so that they can charge the insurance and get their pay. Like they didn't say nothing to me, they didn't even ask me they didn't even know my name. I doubt they read my chart because they came in and asked me what was wrong. Meanwhile, my nursing team would always make sure I was okay. They were much more caring. They seemed like my best interest was at the forefront of their mind and not just trying to make me another number, but treating me as an individual. And that's something moving forward that I always remember about why I'm doing this career now instead of being an MD. It's just more personal to me. And I feel like that's why they changed the MCAT. Before 2016 or 2015, I believe, before then there was not an interpersonal section. There was no sociology, no psychology, and behavioral sciences. It was all just strictly math, science based examination. But I guess they realized that doctors don't know how to talk to patients, and it's a communication skill that is necessary in the health profession to make people feel comfortable, to let them know that they can trust you and all that kind of stuff. The other thing about becoming a nurse that was very appealing is the time span in which I could complete my degree. Having already completed a bachelor's degree, I found so many programs in which I could get my BSN in 1 to 2 years by doing an accelerated program. Less time in school is a very, very huge bonus for me because, like I said, I don't want to spend my 20s locked under someone's textbook or obligated to schools and exams. I want to enjoy my 20s where I can. And so only having to spend a year or two in school, that's wonderful. After the 4 years I already did, yeah. And if I had the foresight to go into this career sooner, I could have had my degree earlier than this. That's really appealing to me. I sincerely never wanted to be in a situation where I'm now 40 and I'm waking up and realizing that I've done nothing but study. Another thing was that there is a lot more freedom in your specialty when it comes to nursing. When you're in med school, after you do your 4 years, you then have to go to residency, and in that residency you have to have a specialty. So you can't just be like a general resident, or I guess that would be like an internist or internal medicine doctor. But in nursing you could do endoscopy, anesthesia, PACU, telemetry, ICU, NICU. You could do pediatrics. You could do any specialty you wanted. This is super enticing for me, just to be able to dibble and dabble in different specialties, just to be sure that being in women's health is what's the best one for me. So before I have to lock myself down into a particular field, I can bounce around and get my experience in multiple fields and know for sure what I want to do is the right thing. You just never know. Once you're in the field and actually working, it might turn out that I can't take the smell of being in midwifery. Then I gotta find a new career. But if I'd already invested all this time in becoming either of those things, well, then I'm out of a job. Whereas with nursing, I always have that foundation of being a nurse with me no matter what, wherever I go, and I love that. As a physician, you cannot do a residency in dermatology to become a dermatologist and then wake up one day and say, I think I want to get a job in neurology instead. It don't work like that. It would not make sense to spend what, 7 years, 6, 7 years in residency to become a neurologist, and what is it, 5 years in dermatology? Those numbers are probably off because I've not looked into this in many, many years. But people put a lot of time and effort into learning their specialties, so you have to really know that that's the specialty you want to be in if you're going the MD route, and I just don't like that type of commitment. Lastly but not least, and I hope this does not sound away, but the depth of education that MDs have to go through is a lot more than I'm willing to have to endure. Med school is tough, like really tough. And I'm not saying that nursing school is not tough too. Nursing school is difficult in its own right, but it is very, very different. It's a very different kind of tough. I think both schools measure your endurance and your ability to time manage and be effective in your studies. And so in that respect, nursing school is a lot more realistic for me and my goals and my motivation and how much I want to know about my patients. I don't want to know everything. I don't know if that sounds bad, but I just want to know as much as I need to know to make sure that they're safe and well taken care of. That doesn't mean I need to know every single thing. That's why they design specialties. But again, nursing and medicine are two different things. The scope of practice is very, very different, and I prefer the more advocacy side, the more critical thinking side. And I think it's just because we observe our patients differently and we have different amounts of times that we spend with our patients. So for me, nursing just makes a lot more sense. And I said this before in one of my other videos, but I really did also have to realize that a lot of the reason that I wanted to be an MD so bad is because of the esteem that I had associated with it. I wanted to be able to say, you know, I'm a doctor, Melissa Nelson, MD. I really wanted to be able to say that. But at the same time, going through this nursing route, I could also get my doctorate in this field as well. I could get a DNP, a doctor of nursing practice, if I really wanted to. So it's not like there aren't other routes to being able to be called a doctor. And I just will say this too as a disclaimer, it has never been about salaries or income when it comes to me making my career choice. I've never been enticed by how much money either profession makes, it doesn't matter to me. There's nothing, no amount of money in the world that is worth your sanity or worth your time. And by time, I mean, you know, your years of life. While salaries are not that important to me, job security is important. And I know that nursing is a field in which there is a ton of job security. There are nurses always needed everywhere. So once I realized all of this stuff that I've been saying, I started doing my prereqs to become a nurse. I took my anatomy, physiology, microbiology, all the classes that I didn't take in undergrad, and then I started applying to schools. And I was able to get into an accelerated program and start my journey into nursing. And of course, there were some changes, and now I'm at Chamberlain, but I am on my way to getting my BSN, and I'm super excited that this is the journey that I am on. I'm very encouraged, very happy with my decision. I feel great. I have no regrets, no negative feelings, and I know that once I am a nurse and I pass my NCLEX and I am practicing with my license, I know that I will be a truly fulfilled person. If you've made it to the end of this video, make sure you comment down below future BSNs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any more questions about my nursing journey, or specifically about Chamberlain, or about finances or anything like that, make sure you comment down below, let me know, and I will try my best to get those videos out to you as soon as I can. I do have about 6 more videos to edit, so I'm trying my best to get through these, guys. But thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Look more.